Do you have stinking thinking? You know, negative thoughts, stinking thinking. This is Mary Scott from Wealth with Passion. I was thinking about this today, stinking thinking, and how easy it is to derail yourself with this kind of talk. Because, you know, the aim really is to have a positive mindset, positive thoughts. Because you start that stinking thinking. Oh, you got to say that quickly, don't you? Negative thinking. It starts with negative thoughts about yourself. And then it translates to negative thoughts about other people, you know, those judgments. And quite often I've noticed that those judgments actually are about you, that then get projected out there, which is really interesting. And there's no going back from that because, well, I suppose there is, but what I mean is there's no going back from that is because you make a judgment, it's almost like it becomes categoric. Well, you know, they always do that, and I never, you know, all those kind of things. And I noticed that from stinking thinking, it can be a downhill slide. And I think it then does become, I don't know, who's getting criticised more? Are you criticising yourself or are you criticising others more? Because that's what happens. And what it really causes you to do, or should I say, I think part of the solution is to really start to take responsibility. Firstly for your life, but also about your thoughts. And take stock of that critical thinking. I call it critical thinking because critical thinking becomes critical judging, and you start to judge yourself. Then you go out in the community and you know, like it just goes on and on. It's never ending, in fact. And what you end up with is a pretty negative lifestyle, a pretty negative mindset. You know, the 6 inches between your ears become filled with just negative stuff that is not very fruitful. So here's my challenge today. See if you can start to watch that. Take responsibility for your thinking. So I think quite often we get, certainly in school, and I've been around a while, and I think it's still in school these days, where they encourage you to take responsibilities for your, or responsibility, should I say, for your action, what you do. And what I'm saying is let's take that further again. Take responsibility for your thoughts. Because whatever you're thinking, usually you're doing. And if you're doing a lot of that negative stuff, technical terms, stuff, usually that is happening in your life. You start to have negative results. You know, it's kind of the opposite of that thing, you know, you buy a red car and you're so thrilled because that's what you wanted. And then when you get it, you realise, oh, it's a bit common. Everyone's got a red car, you know. And I think thinking can be a bit like that. You start to mix with people who speak negatively, people who criticise others. And I'm certainly no saint, I must say, but I have learnt over the years to be onto myself about that critical voice. I think it was last week I spoke about that critical voice that puts yourself down, and had some good feedback from that. And I've reflected a lot more on it, and this critical thinking of others and judging of others, there's nowhere to go with that. Well, it's just downhill. It just takes you down to the depths. So here's my challenge today. Take responsibility for your thinking. Take responsibility for your thoughts. And if you want to add the actions on, that's terrific. Because I'm a great believer what you think about, you bring about. Now that can be positive, that can be negative. And the sooner that you can shift that to positive things, there'll be more positive things, like the red car brings about more red cars because it brings it into your consciousness. You start to notice them, you're like, oh, there's another red car, you know, and you feel pretty common. And I think that's true about positive thinking, positive thoughts, affirming other people. You just get to do more of it. The more you do it, the more you see it, the more you can affirm yourself. And you can actually put a stop to this whole notion of critical thinking, critical judging, stinking thinking. Let's have some positive thoughts. It's early in the week. Some of you, it's the start of your week. Some of you, you're in the middle of your first day of the week. So let's start with the best foot forward. Positive thoughts, positive thinking, positive actions. And what I encourage you to do is put some notes down there. Tell me what you're doing so I can have a conversation with you if you like. Or I can bring more to the table. I hope that these little videos are helpful. This is Mary Scott from Wealth with Passion. Do leave me some comments. I like the comments. I'll also leave you my link so you know what I'm about and where I get all this from and who I am. You can certainly learn more from my website. I'll pop it down here, and I really look forward to hearing from you. Mary Scott, be awesome.